been a minute, y'all. I haven't did live in a minute. So how you guys doing? I pray you guys are doing absolutely amazing. Again, I haven't did live in think over like 6 months. It's been like 6 months. As you saw by the title, well, welcome to Next Level Transformation Talk Out, where we dive into real talk, real thoughts, real transformation. Okay, I had to shift a little bit of my live segment, did something a little different. But let's talk about it. I'm excited because, as you saw in the title, we're going to really be diving into healthy detachment. One of the things that we don't talk about is how we do have to find ourselves detaching from people, places, and things um, for the betterment of our well being. Okay, whether it's for our mental health, whether it's for our emotional stability, whether it's for our physical health, okay, whether it's for our spiritual development. A lot of times we don't discuss the level of detachment that we really have to do, or we don't talk about the level of detachment. And it's so interesting because I had a conversation, right, with Heavenly Father about detachment and about the spirit of detachment. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Kind of want to change the lighting. Better. So I did. I was talking to Heavenly Father about the spirit of detachment and how I found myself being emotionally attached to people subconsciously, simply because I was struggling with the abandonment issues and struggling with um, dealing with neglect issues from childhood, right? And so taking time to detach and learning to detach in a healthy way has put me in a space of understanding that you can still be there for people without being emotionally tied to people. Because one of the things where we feel as if, like, if we are emotionally attached to people, that lets them know how much we love them. Okay, when we are emotionally attached to people, it lets them know how loyal we are or how ride or die we are. And a lot of times it's so unhealthy being that emotionally attached to people that it puts us in a space of messing with our mental health. It messes up our emotional stability. It messes up our physical health. Okay, a lot of us get sick from being so emotionally tied to people. It messes up our spiritual development. A lot of us get in a space of not growing spiritually and not evolving spiritually because we are emotionally tied to people who are not even trying to dive into a spiritual development, right? So it puts us in a space where we're sitting here and we're like, okay, I have to figure this out. I have to navigate this in a healthy way where I can still let people know I'm there for them. I can still let people know that I want the best for them without sacrificing myself to do it. And that's what a healthy detachment is, right? I had to learn this with family. I had to learn this with my ex husband because you find that certain people, right? And put in the comments if this resonates, like you realize with certain people, they go through some of the challenges, ups and downs in life, and then expect you to go through it with them. And it was like I was talking to the Holy Spirit, right? I was like, when I was emotionally attached to people, and they went through some of the toughest moments in their life, it felt as if like I was there to give them a helping hand so they wouldn't drown, but then they were pulling me down to drown with them. And I had to sit to myself, like I said, that's not supposed to be that way. It don't work that way, right? I'm supposed to be there to help you from not drowning, but in essence, you wanted me to drown with you. So that's when I was like, okay, something got to shake, something got to change, right? Something has to adjust, something has to rearrange, something has to change. And this is when I started to really navigate healthy detachment, where yes, I could be there for you, I could support you, I could love you from a distance. Like I don't have to be emotionally tied to what you're going through. And we experience this primarily with family. Okay. definitely with family, where you find that you are emotionally tied to family members and it puts you in a state of codependency. Hey, 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 thank you for diving into the live. What is that? Cammy 1270, what's up? Thank you. Hey, 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 what is that? At Kanai at Kanai 06? Hey, thank you for diving into the live. But too good. Oh, thank you. Um, it's one of my favorite hats, just saying. But it's like when we're emotionally invested or when we're emotionally attached to people. Oh, thank you for diving in from Japan. I love it. Thank you. Thank you for the support. I appreciate you. Um, it's like when we're emotionally attached to people, it puts us in a space of feeling. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Heather Johnson. Thank you. It puts us in a space of being super codependent. And it allows us to start to diminish who we are because we are emotionally attached to people who don't know who they are. And that's why I say, like, we really got to dive into some healthy detachment where you can start being. Can you pronounce my name? I tried. I think I tried. I tried to pronounce it. I think I jacked it up a little bit. I'm sorry. First four words only. That's my name. Oh, okay. At Key. Well, thank you for diving in with me and being a supporter. But it's like you start to sacrifice yourself. You start to sacrifice who you are. And you start to sacrifice your beliefs, your thought process, your mindset to be emotionally attached to somebody who is still trying to figure themselves out, who's still trying to navigate themselves, who's still trying to understand themselves. And then it puts us in a space of, okay, their objective actually worked. They wanted me to drown with them, and then that's what I'm doing because now I'm drowning. Now I'm sacrificing my thoughts. I'm sacrificing my mindset. I'm sacrificing my beliefs. I'm sacrificing my emotions to make sure I'm present for them. Healthy detachment allows you to be strong in yourself while still being supportive to others. Okay. And it puts you in a space like, okay, listen, I know this is what you're going through. I know this is what you're experiencing. I know this is what you're enduring. I don't want you to feel like you have to do it alone, but it has to be limits. It has to be restraints. It has to be restrictions. It has to be times where we'll be like, okay, you got to kind of figure that on your own. But I'm here to support you. I'm here to love you from a distance. I'm here to love you through it. One of the things when it comes to family, and this is something that I felt called to talk about because it's a personal experience with me as well, where I had to emotionally detach from a lot of family members simply because what I noticed was I was emotionally invested. And like I talked about in the beginning of this live, I was emotionally invested with so many people where it put me in a space of um, sacrificing and making like it. I was thirsty to have people around me, even though they were a little dysfunctional and toxic. But it was because the things that I've never healed from. And this is where you really kind of uncover. Okay, you really get down to beneath the surface. It's like when you're emotionally attached to people, chances are it's something there that you have not healed from where you feel the need or obligated to be attached to them even though you know it's not a healthy attachment, right? So it's like you got to ask yourself why, if they keep disrespecting me, if they keep betraying me, if they keep lying to me, if they keep doing me dirty, if they keep stabbing me in the back, why am I so emotionally tied to them? It's no longer about them. It now flips the script onto you. It's like, what do I need to heal where I feel the need to be attached to this type of dysfunction? What do I have to heal? Or what do I have to uncover for me to really be like, okay, why am I staying in this relationship? Why am I emotionally tied to somebody who doesn't even care about my emotions? Do you ask yourself that question? And it's like, okay, you try to justify, be like, I love them. Baby, I've been there, done that t-shirt. Oh, I love them. I love them so much. They mean so much to me. I care about them. I spent my entire life with them. But then it's like you so emotionally attached to somebody who could care less about your emotions. They don't care how you feel, but you're so emotionally tied to them. And it puts you in a situation to just be like, okay, I got to be honest with myself. What do I need to heal to start to value myself more, to realize, okay, it's more. I deserve better than this. And it's not a matter of like you have to start being angry with them, or it's not a matter that you have to start having resentment or animosity towards them, right? It's just more so, how about you start loving yourself just a little bit more and start creating some healthy boundaries where it just be like, okay, I'm not going to be so invested in something that's depleting me and not even feeding me. And I feel like we have this conversation a lot, right? We talk about this a lot. We engage in this conversation a lot, especially when it comes to connections, relationships, right? We talk about this so much about how I'm not going to be in a connection with something that's depleting me and it's not feeding me. Like we go through this whole ups and downs thing. It's like we're so much aware, right? But yet we're still emotionally invested. And I could tell you're emotionally invested because you still talk about it. You still bring it up. Okay. When they name is mentioned, you are triggered because you're emotionally invested. That's how it's like you may not even, and this is, oh, it goes right. Let's talk about this part. We're going to get into this one. We're just going to really dive into this one. So you didn't already left this person. And I have experienced this, right? You're not in a relationship with this person, but their name is in your mouth quite often. I thought you moved on. Okay. I thought you let go. You're still emotionally invested. It's kind of, you got to be honest with yourself. This song pops up every time. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. You got to be honest with yourself. Okay. Their name is in your mouth quite often, even if you're not in a relationship with them. Okay. Granted, I want to talk about this. It's not even just intimate relationships, right? Family members. You didn't fell out with certain family members, but you talk about them every chance you get. Their name is constantly in your mouth. Why is that? Because you're still emotionally attached. You're still emotionally attached. And this is what I want you guys to see. As much as you felt like you have walked away, as much as you felt like you have turned over a new leaf, as much as you felt like you have let go, but this person's name is still in your mouth. You're emotionally attached. You still talk about what they're doing. They're not paying you no type of attention, but you're still into their business. You still exploring their pages. You're still putting them in the search bar. You're still talking about them. It's you're emotionally invested, and this is something that you got to admit. So when you decide to detach from somebody, it's a process. It's not just okay, I don't want to be with you anymore. It's like steps to it. It's levels to detaching from people, especially if it's you've been in a relationship with them for a very long time. If it's a connection with family, a very long time, it's steps. It's levels to detaching from people. And this is why I say you kind of got to do it in a healthy way. So it starts with some reflective questions. You got to ask yourself, what is it within this connection was meant to teach me? Okay, you start there. You ask yourself. You ask yourself what this relationship is supposed to teach me. And it's so interesting because a lot of us move real bold when we get tired of a connection, right? We move real bold, real freely, right? We start popping, gaining our power back, all of that until we get in a space of reflective. And then we don't want to dive into that, right? We don't want to dive into the healing aspect after taking that first leap of faith and leaving. Now it's time to uncover the work, because if you don't do that, you're going to repeat cycles, you're going to repeat connections, you're going to repeat the same patterns. If you don't do the healing work, you're going to repeat. You're going to find yourself in the same position, just with a new face. Okay, so you have to take the time to heal. Okay, and this is how you start to adapt, because adapting healthy detachment requires you to learn the lesson. You don't adapt healthy detachment until you learn why you was emotionally attached in the first place. If you didn't learn nothing, then you're going to go to the next person and attach yourself emotionally to that person. It's going to be a repeated cycle. It's going to be an ongoing thing. So when you are wanting to do something different, you got to get to the root of it. And that's what the step a lot of y'all are missing, because again, yes, healing is awkward, healing's uncomfortable, healing is annoying, healing takes a lot of time, it wastes energy, however you feel. It's a lot. You invest a lot into healing. And so when you put yourself in that position where it's okay, I got myself out of there. Okay. I got myself out of that unhealthy relationship. I left that toxic person. I left them, that cheating person. I left that unhealthy family member. You did all of that. You got yourself out of there. But then the part you're skipping is okay, I need to sit with myself for a second and just be like, what do I need to heal? So I'm not finding this same type of person. So I'm not engaging in this same type of relationship. I'm not finding myself attached emotionally to another person. So you start to do the healing work first. What a lot of y'all are doing, y'all leaving one relationship to hop into another. So you ain't do no inner work. You ain't do no inner work. And so the attachment, you think that you already let go from that first one. No, you still attached to that one. You just now attached to another one emotion is still attached to this one, and a new emotion is attached to the new one. Let's talk about that. You got to unpack that. So if you don't sit there and stop before you go into the next, and if you don't sit in some stillness and stop and do some healing work, what you feel as if you left, you really didn't. Okay, and it's something I experienced too. It's so interesting where I find people trying to people they trying to use me as a like a comparison point, like as it's like a the blueprint. And a lot of people is like, you should think that's flattering. I don't, because I don't want nobody to feel the need to compare themselves to me because you have your own identity. I don't want you to feel the need to compare to me because you have your own path, you have your own journey. Okay. So I don't want to be the blueprint where you utilize me and what I do and try to find like and feed off of that. No, we're all created differently. We're all created differently. We're all created for a set purpose, a set path, a set plan. What I do is not what you do. How I do is not how you do. Okay. How I think is not how you think. How I move is not how you move. And that's okay. I can be an inspiration for you to find yourself. That's my goal. It's not for you to be like me, but it's for you to be inspired by me to be like, okay, let me find my path, my journey, my purpose. And let me find, okay, that's how you operate in level of detachment. When you are when you are emotionally attached to someone, you try to replicate them. You try to be them. I'm speaking in this referencing professionally. When you invest into somebody or you see somebody that you like, okay, it could be a content creator, it could be a reader, it could be a teacher, it could be a motivational person, whoever, right? You like them, you love their content, you love what they produce, right? And if you're emotionally attached to them, you start to be like them because you're emotionally invested. You see where the problem is? And so when you're emotionally invested into somebody else, you start to try to be like them instead of finding your own path. Instead of finding so they're no longer inspiration. Now they're idol. Yeah, that's the truth of it. They're no longer an inspirational path. Now you just idol. There's somebody that you try to idolize. There's somebody you try to be. That's where the problem is. And so healthy detachment is removing yourself emotionally from whoever, hey, what's up? Thank you for diving in. Um, whoever you like, whoever content you appreciate. Thank you for diving in. Hey, 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 Anaya. I appreciate you. Whoever you diving into their content, their what they produce, their business, right? Whatever teacher, leader, reader, whatever. And if you find yourself being emotionally invested, it's time for you to take a break from them because then you start to evolve yourself into who they are. And that's where copycat energy starts to come because we're all created individually, we're all created separately, we're all created in our own unique way, right? And so a healthy detachment is seeing people for who they are and seeing their story, seeing what they have accomplished, and getting inspired to do something for yourself. That's a healthy detachment. Still support them, but provide yourself with something for that's your own that you can do. Okay. Be in a space where you can actually elevate, be in a space where you can actually show and be your unique self. Again, spirit of detachment, oh, not spirit of detachment, but detaching in general is not easy because it requires you to do some healing. It requires you to do some moment of evolving and elevating. It requires you to take some time to be like, who am I? What am I trying to do? Who am I trying to be? That's what the detachment is. That's what it is when you take time to be like, okay, this is something I need to do. This is something I need to learn. This is something I need to understand. This is something I need to grow. This is something I need to change. Okay. I know healthy detachment comes over time, but it comes after you do healing. It's the key here. Okay. You got to do the healing in order to understand it. I pray this provided you some clarity. Okay. I pray this provides you some understanding. Listen, Next Level Transformation Talks we have every week. A new video will be uploaded this week. It probably won't be until the end of the week, but I am going to be back doing more lives with y'all because I miss y'all. I miss doing the lives with y'all. So I will be doing more lives. Okay. And don't forget, if you would like to become a member, visit nextlevelwellness.club for more information to join the community. Trans- Transformative wellness, okay, where we really restore the inner stability. We start from the inside to work our way out. Inner stability equals outer impact. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all.